Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 3 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time we are using the Follower Javelin, which is a DLC weapon from the first DLC. And this spear is pretty fun to use in all honesty. It's not incredibly unique. Truly the only unique thing about it is the skill. However, when you land that attack from the skill, it is so incredibly satisfying. It sort of makes it all worthwhile. Sort of, kinda. But anyway, let's get started with the basics. So the Follower Javelin requires 12 strength and 12 dexterity in order to wield. It has a B scaling in strength and a D scaling in dexterity. And its physical base damage is 212. So that's basically it. Other than that, moveset wise, this is basically your standard spear, as I was saying. The only true difference is the weapon skill, which is Hurl Spear. Not a very original name, but what else would you expect from a javelin? Basically, you throw an illusory version of the spear, it does some damage. It's nothing terribly special, but it's nice to have a ranged attack. My one complaint about the skill is that it could go a little bit faster, although I will say it does actually have some very good hyper armor to it. As you saw in this fight here, I was able to just hyper armor through multiple attacks from a halberd while it was two-handed, and that includes the halberd's skill itself. So needless to say, it does have a very good amount of hyper armor for a spear. Now, the pros of the weapon, of course, would be typical spear class pros. It does have quick thrusting attacks. It does very well with the Leo Ring, and that Leo Ring damage potential is without a doubt the biggest pro of the weapon. It does have some decently long-reaching attacks. It's not going to be the longest spear, but the fact that it does have weapon skill that allows you to essentially, hit people from a distance, that is what it is. As far as the cons of the weapon are concerned, though, the critical damage on this is lacking, without a doubt. That's typical of most spears. And the damage overall on this one is a little bit lacking as well. It's really not overly great. Leo Ring is sort of a necessity for this weapon, in my opinion, but that's the way it is with a lot of spears. The ability to hit people from range really does sort of help make up for it in quite a few situations. The extra hyper armor on this weapon helps as well when you are going for that skill at point blank. And even though it doesn't do the most damage, being able to hit your opponent from afar is a good thing, of course, and that will be extremely useful in many situations. So, other than that, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this thing. It's a really fun weapon to use. It is unique from other spears due to the fact that it does have that throwing attack, and that attack also does in fact count with the Leo Ring. So due to that fact, if you have someone who's charging up for an R2, charging up for something, thinking that you're going to come in running at them, if they keep charging that and you throw your javelin at them, well, needless to say, then they're not going to do all that well. It'll deal a fair bit of damage. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as far as use. And another thing to really do with this weapon when you're using it is to go for 2 R1s in a row, and a lot of people will roll backwards after you hit them twice. And if they roll straight back along a linear path with you, and you throw the weapon at them, well, needless to say, you will end up hitting them like I did in the last fight. So that's one good use of the weapon. Another good use of the weapon skill would be if you're trying to bait someone in at you. Because a lot of people will, when they see you start to do it, either dodge sideways, which is the correct way to do it, or they will roll towards you, and provided you have your distancing and your spacing properly set, it'll be a relatively easy parry because in most situations, when they do roll in towards you, they'll go for a rolling attack. And as we know, rolling attacks are fairly easy to parry. So, that's something good to keep in mind. Another good thing to keep in mind with this weapon is of course that you do have the ability to turtle poke, hold up the shield and poke away at them. And with that, you could always use a shield that has the weapon skill for its weapon art. Therefore, with that, you'll be able to turtle poke. When they start rolling backwards, you'll be able to throw the spear at them, and then you can keep turtle poking away at someone. It works surprisingly well. I should have shown it more in this video, but it's something I started to do afterwards. Also, the spear does have the ability to headshot people, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that though guys, that's all I've got. This is the last fight in the video. I hope you all enjoyed this one, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will see you all next time.